Hi, this is Spectre P, and we are Spectre AI. In this video, I'm going to show you why your encrypted data can be captured now, even if nobody can read it today. The technique is called Harvest Now, Decrypt Later. Adversaries record encrypted traffic right now, store it for years, and decrypt it later when quantum computers can break RSA and ECC. Once you understand that threat model, you'll see exactly what data is at risk, who should worry, and what practical steps to take so you're not scrambling at the last minute. Let's start with what harvesting actually means. Knowledge is power, and that's where today's sponsor, Brilliant, fits in. Brilliant teaches by doing. That's why I love using Brilliant, a website and app that helps you build your logic skills while also improving your math skills through interactive lessons. One course I really like is Scientific Thinking, which sharpens your technical reasoning so you can think more clearly instead of just reacting. You can also strengthen your math and geometry skills with lessons that feel more like puzzles than lectures. There are many other categories to choose from, and Brilliant lets you learn with step-by-step interactive lessons. You can start learning for free for 30 days at brilliant.org/SpectreAI or by scanning the QR code on your screen. Brilliant is also giving you 20% off an annual premium subscription, giving you unlimited access to thousands of lessons. Now, back to harvesting data. Let's get specific. What data is actually at risk and who should worry? The rule is simple. If your information needs to stay secret for 10 years or more, you are in the danger zone. Because Harvest Now Decrypt Later is a long game. For governments, that's classified communications, diplomatic cables, intelligence reporting, and anything tied to national security. For banks and financial institutions, it's wire transfers, account relationships, sensitive client communications, and authentication flows that rely on RSA or ECC. For healthcare, it's medical records, HIPAA data, genetic information, and long-lived patient history. For corporations, it's trade secrets, product roadmaps, M&A discussions, litigation strategy, and proprietary research. And even for individuals, it can be emails, private messages, stored cloud backups, or documents you assume are safe because they're encrypted. If an adversary can capture that encrypted traffic today, they don't need to break it today. They just need patience. So if your data has a long shelf life, you should assume it's being collected right now and plan accordingly. So what can you actually do about Harvest Now, Decrypt Later? The first step is to assess your risk. Identify where you're using RSA, ECC, or Diffie-Hellman, because if those systems protect long-lived data, you should assume the encrypted traffic can be collected today and decrypted later. Step 2 is to upgrade your cryptography over time, not overnight. That means planning a move toward post-quantum algorithms for key exchange and signatures as your vendors and platforms support them and prioritizing the systems that protect your most sensitive, long-duration information. And step 3 is to think response and policy, not just math, because this is an intelligence problem as much as a crypto problem. Decide what data must remain secret for a decade or longer, segment it, reduce exposure, and build a migration plan now instead of waiting until the last minute. RSA and ECC won't protect you forever, but if you start mapping and prioritizing today, you can stay ahead of the curve. So when does RSA 2048 actually break? The honest answer is, nobody can give you an exact date, but we can bound the window. Today's quantum computers are impressive, but they're still not at the scale and reliability needed to run Shor's algorithm against RSA 2048 in the real world. To break it, you don't just need more qubits. You need fault-tolerant, error-corrected logical qubits plus long, stable computation. Conservative estimates put that capability roughly 10 to 15 years out, while more aggressive forecasts say 5 to 10 years if hardware progress and error correction accelerate faster than expected. The important point is not whether it's 2032 or 2038. The point is that adversaries don't need the exact date either. If your data needs to remain secret for a decade, harvesting it now makes perfect sense, because the payoff comes later. So the timeline is uncertain, but the incentive to collect encrypted traffic today is not. And that's why planning has to start now, not in 2034. At this point, you might be thinking, okay, but is this really happening, or is this just theory? It's happening. First, there are real security advisories and government-level warnings telling organizations to start migrating away from quantum-vulnerable cryptography because they know RSA and ECC won't hold forever. Second, the capability to collect data at scale already exists. Bulk collection infrastructure doesn't need to break encryption in real time. It just needs to capture encrypted traffic and store it. And third, the incentive and the funding are absolutely real. Major nation-states are investing heavily in quantum technologies precisely because the payoff is asymmetric. If you can eventually break legacy public key crypto, you gain long-term intelligence access to historical communications, financial relationships, and sensitive state and corporate data. So even if large-scale quantum decryption is years away, the harvesting part is rational today. That's the whole threat model. Collect now, wait, and decrypt later. So what's the actual solution? It's post-quantum cryptography, and the good news is this is not theoretical anymore. There are real standards and real migration paths. The core idea is to replace today's vulnerable public key methods with new post-quantum methods for encryption and for digital signatures. These newer methods are built to resist both classical attacks and future quantum attacks, and they are the direction the industry is moving toward. The practical move happens in phases. First, make a complete inventory of every place your organization uses public key cryptography, especially in web certificates, secure remote access, virtual private networks, software signing, application authentication, device and firmware signing, and internal services. Second, map the dependencies and prioritize the systems that protect high-value information that must remain secret for a long time. Third, begin upgrading as your vendors support post-quantum options, often starting with hybrid deployments so you can test compatibility without breaking production. The takeaway is simple. Harvesting is happening now. Decryption comes later. The winning strategy is to start mapping and migrating before deadline pressure hits. Thank you for watching. If you found this useful, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us keep building deep, real-world quantum security content. You can visit spectreai.ai to explore over 55 hands-on quantum security labs and learn by doing, not just by theory. If you're interested in going deeper, you can also find our books on Amazon. And finally, leave a comment and let us know what you'd like to learn next. We read them all. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next video.